Welcome to the Engineering Podcast, a podcast from the engineers at Rocket.Chat. We'll be discussing new implementations, problems faced, what's coming, and everything else related to our daily work, always with a technical perspective to keep you up to date. Hey, welcome all. I'm Rodrigo Nascimento, your host as always, and welcome to the new format of the podcast. I hope you like the new intro and the new music. So yeah, let's move on to the list of people that are participating today. We have the backend leader, co-founder Diego Sampaio, the apps engine leader Douglas Gilbert, our cloud leader Aaron Ugo, front-end leader Guilherme Gazzo, mobile leader Diego Mello, and the Omnichannel product manager Renato Becker. So thank you all to participate on this episode. And yeah, let's get started with the news. As always, first with Diego Sampaio from the backend team. And can you talk about we are in the future freeze, right? For the new release and the highlights of the past 2 weeks. We didn't have the episode past week.
Yep. Hi everyone. We are on the freeze period for the 3.12 release. It's supposed to last until next Saturday. For this release, we all worked on a bunch of, actually, mainly on bug fixes. So last week, on the backend team, we have fixed a few important issues that I want to talk to you guys. One of them was an issue with that was preventing users to change their own password through the My Account page. There was an issue with, actually not an issue, but we used to have a warning on the server logs talking about an event emitter memory leak. I was always trying to keep you guys calm and saying that was not the case. Like we didn't have a memory leak on that, but unfortunately there is a limit, not limitation, but something that the core event emitter from the Node.js was like trying to warn people that if they have more than 10 listeners by default, the app could possibly have a memory leak, but that was not the case for us because we use more than 10 event listeners for the same like subject. So we had to switch to another event emitter lib, so we could get we could like prevent that warning from showing on the logs. But so for next release, there will be no more warnings on the server logs. We had also a few improvements on the Slack importer. Actually, some good improvements. We are now supporting larger files, larger like user import files with more users, more channels. We had to split the avatar download step into a additional step, so that way we could perform the whole import much faster. And then if people want to have the previous avatars they were using on Slack, they can click on a button, and so there will be a process to download them all. And also an update on the every room's last message. Again, accordingly to the import file. There is an issue with cores. On our documentation, we used to say that we supported multiple origins on the CORS configuration, but actually the browsers don't support to have like more than one origin described on the header. So we had to fix that by splitting the response. So now it's supported. And also, and the last one was a fix for two-factor authentication for external providers. You may know that if a user on Rocket.Chat has two-factor authentication configured, even though you use an external provider, we would ask the two-factor authentication code again. Not again, but we would ask for the two-factor authentication code, like Rocket.Chat's second factor authentication code. So for a few external providers that they were not working. So for CAS, we have disabled that. So if you are using CAS, you will not be asked for the two-factor authentication code. Actually, only the TOTP, like the one-time password. If you're using that's for all two-factor authentication codes actually. Yeah, and for Atlassian Crowd, we are now supporting. So for others, we are already supporting like LDAP or OAuth. So we are increasing the support of two-factor authentication for external providers. And yeah, I guess that's it for us. A lot of fixes we are testing now on our open server. Hopefully we get a pretty stable release at the end of the week. I guess you're muted, Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, I was. Sorry. I was asking if all those items were like in the 3.12 that will be released soon. You
Yes,
mentioned that.
exactly.
Okay, cool. Awesome, thank you. The next one is the Apps Engine Dog. What's going on there?
Hello, folks. Can you hear me well? I changed the mic. So, okay, good. So, for the last 2 weeks, what we have a few problems with the compiler in our marketplace due to some errors in the package, which ended up preventing some apps from being properly submitted to the marketplace. The problem has been solved now, and we have put some actions. We have some action items to put in place actually, so we can prevent this from happening again. It was a a problem with new features that we've introduced in the apps engine and were not supported yet by the compiler, so it got lost during the compilation on the marketplace side of things. Other than that, we're in the beta period for version 1.23 of the apps engine, and a few things that got into it. One of them is a fix for a problem with the scheduler API, where a job would be enabled in the server startup, even if the app that registers it is disabled. So this has been handled. We have also a new method to allow the editor field in a message to be changed via the message builder. This was a limitation previously, where you couldn't change what was the editor of the message before. We have a new accessor, a cloud workspace that allows apps to get an access token that will get them access to some cloud services. This is kind of like a beta and experimental feature for now. for us to understand how well it fits in the ecosystem of the apps engine. But so like for now, we're only going to be accepting submissions with this feature that are from our team, so that we can understand exactly what are the how it behaves, and hopefully we can open it up to a kind of like public beta soon. And we've also released some new docs also on the permission system and on the scheduler API. So updated there on the docs.rocket.chat. So check it out. Give us some feedback. Always appreciate it. And that's it for us.
Pretty cool. Kind of like this new, let's say, internal testing APIs. It's a good way to start testing and make it public later after we test. Pretty cool. The next one is the cloud team. Aaron, what's going on there in the past 2 weeks?
Hello, everybody. I survived the what we're not so fondly calling the snowpocalypse of 2021. Here in Texas, we had a pretty good power outage across the state. Snow up through the northern parts. That combined with Carnival, there was not a lot of highlights for, I guess, the missed episode from last week. But we were also focused on bug fixes. So we fixed a lot of bugs. None so important to call out, probably. We kind of going into the future, we are specking out a couple of new projects. The exciting one for us right now is the Omni Gateway. This will build upon some work you've heard about previously, actually some in this episode here. The new cloud workspace successor is one that they'll kind of build upon, and the add-on system for the marketplace. Kind of combining those two and making for some interesting possibilities. Kind of auto provisioning things, which is cool. Put on my sales hat here. We're still looking for a senior level cloud infrastructure engineer / cloud infrastructure engineer. Just want to kind of put out this, don't take the title too seriously. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert with cloud providers. Like if you're, it's more of like the technologies we're using, not actually saying that, oh, you must be a Amazon or a GCP or whatever, like expert. Like we're working with cloud like technologies. So if you're a DevOps SRE type person, we're looking for you. Also want to note, if you're looking on LinkedIn, it does say Brazil as the country. We're not actually looking for only people in Brazil. So if you're in Europe, Asia, we're looking for you. Please apply. We're looking to kind of build out a diverse team from around the globe to handle our infrastructure. So I'll stop hogging the mic and let somebody else have a turn. That's it for us.
And especially on this team, we want to have the team spread due to the time zone and support the infra to be up all the time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. And we are going to open our new positions for cloud on the engineering side and other areas as well. So stay tuned on the LinkedIn and our jobs page. Q. So the next one is the front-end team. Guilherme Gazzo, what's going on there?
Hello, friends. So yeah, like we have been working and trying to fix a lot of issues during these 2 weeks, but I think we have like two more important among this whole list. Like first is people have been complaining about Hubot or whatever the bot they are using not working anymore since 3.8. And actually, a lot of people provided a lot of fixes on the SDK side, and thanks for the effort and the time spent. But when I start to the review on the SDK, I realized that we changed wrote the microservice and the event. Then we just the event that was actually not working. So there were nothing to be fixed on the SDK but on the Rocket.Chat side. So and now we fixed it in there. So thank you all for the effort, but we are looking on the wrong point or the wrong side. But okay. And what else? Yeah, we are starting to introduce one new step on the build process to prevent like old browser to broke because of like new language features. Like we are trying to prevent like if we are using something not whatever class or like anything that usually Internet Explorer is not able to handle, then we will prevent the process. And it is like a naive thing, but still I'm excited. We are providing each time more libraries built by Rocket.Chat, and we are developing the event meter, and now we put like types in the event meter, so it's nice like to the TypeScript prevent and make some protect if we are trying to emit some invalid payload or whatever we are trying to do wrong, they will try to prevent it. And we moved the whole emitters to we move we are using like two emitters right now, the Rocket.Chat and the emitter 3 or something like that, and where we already moved to typed emitters, the place where we are using Rocket.Chat, we already moved to the new typed emitter. And yeah, it's exciting because, like, for example, this my message string that was broken, we could prevent using this type checking, and yeah, I don't know. I think somebody gave me like the deep link with path, like for I think Diego like provide this fix, and yeah, now as far as I know, we can like set the path after the login, right? Yeah, then something exciting. It's nice to have, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, this conversion to TypeScript is always more and more important.
I need to confess that it's like a pain in the neck because sometimes we want to do some illegal stuff and the TypeScript like prevent us, but it's nice to be used with this new restriction or strict modes. Like it is bad for in the future for like it's the best path to take.
Yeah, sometimes it makes hard to implement things, but most of the time it works. Mainly after when you need to refactor something, then you see the real value of the typing. Q. So moving on to mobile, Jake Mello, what's going on there?
Hello, everybody. Last couple of weeks, we fixed a lot of bugs. For example, we simplified the server version comparison. Like, since we have to support more than the latest server version, let's say if the user is still on 3.2 or something like that, some features didn't exist back then, so we simplified this version comparison, server version comparison. We did some share extension tweaks, etc. We added support to use room's name instead of room's ID on GTC URL generation, which
is a bug since August last year. So users would end up generating different URLs and ending up on different rooms, which is kind of sad, but hopefully is going to be released soon. We fixed iOS video quality and size decreasing on upload. It wasn't expected, and it was happening on iOS only. And now when we keep the same quality from the video you just uploaded. We've been working on adding permissions to Redux, so this way is going to make easier to read them and re-render components if needed. We're going to add support for chat sorter from older server versions. This was a mistake. It wasn't the intention, but on a newer version of the app, we fixed an issue making the app to not to order chats. Ordering the app wasn't ordering the chats using the same logic as the web client. So we fixed that, but sadly we broke it for older server versions. We need to fix that. We've been also working a lot on connectivity and deep linking issues. For example, when the app goes background for a while, the OS might close the socket connection or even close the app completely. And the idea is to establish a new connection as soon as possible. And instead, the app currently the app might try to just fix this open connection or just even wait for a ping pong from the socket, but this timeout doesn't exist anymore. And same thing applies to deep linking. When the app is open from the push notification and the connection isn't open yet, the app waits for a new connection in order to properly navigate, because you might not have access to that room. But if you have to open a new connection and then navigate, that might take, like, let's say 10 seconds, and that's not really a good user experience. And we also fixed the bug causing the app not to proper navigate from push on iOS. If the app is on background, it would work if the app was closed, but not if the app was in background. And yeah, this week we're going to also work on, besides the permissions to Redux, we want to subscribe to streams, so the app is reactive to permissions, roles, and settings. It's going to be awesome. And that's it. Thank you.
Pretty cool. And the last one is the Omnichannel. Renato Becker, what are the news there?
Hi, everybody. So a new Rocket.Chat release is coming, and apart from minor improvements or bug fixes, new outcomes are coming out with the next release. One of them is a new version of the live chat widget. I mentioned a few weeks ago that the plan for the current development cycle were to get rid of some technical debts and also add some important improvements to the product. And yeah, I have some highlights to mention today. Let's say the first one is a new and proper component for trigger messages. So the live chat users, they will see and will be able to interact with trigger messages, and rather than opening up the widget and covering the entire window when the new trigger message is fired, there will be a proper component there, and the messages will just pop up there, and the visitor will be able to skip it if they want, or start chatting when they want. So some customers were collecting kind of bad feedback from their clients because of the old behavior, but now it's fixed. And yeah, we are very excited because our customers were eager to get this new component in place. But also we refactored the design of the system messages on the live chat widget as well. It's more user friendly now. They can see what are just user messages and what are system messages is more user friendly, and then also an improvement that is coming next week, I hope. But apart from the live chat widget, the team has already worked on a new app. I have already mentioned about that. It's a new integration with Twitter. The point here is that just one app is not enough. So that's the reason we did not submit the app to our marketplace yet, because as Douglas and Aaron mentioned before, this app depends on new components. So probably this app will be the first one that we use the new workspace, and we'll be able to interact with our Omni Gateway. So I know that we still have a work in progress, some work to do, sorry, but I'm very excited. I'm looking forward for the next chapters. And now we are planning the next roadmap. New features are coming. One of them is the on-hold feature. It's a sort of queue improvement, which means that agents will be able to put conversations on hold. I mean, abandoned conversation. They won't get stuck anymore. They will be able to pick new chats in the queue and be more efficient. So that's one of the new features that is coming in the release of March. But there are more. And for example, we have plans to improve one existing feature. It's the candid responses feature. Currently, it's hard to manage candid responses, and the idea is to provide a specific area, area for managers to manage all candid responses, add new scopes, and support placeholders, and other stuff like that. But I need to talk to our design team first, and I'll get some news very soon. So yeah, those are the highlights. Thank you, guys.
Q, a lot of things from all the teams. I have some items to talk about. We announced the Series A some time ago, and we are now working heavily on the reorganization and restructurization of the teams, mainly on the engineering side. So maybe you can present that in the future here in the podcast, or I don't know, maybe a blog post about it. But I think it to change a little bit, or to affect a little bit this podcast and people participating. We are going to have more people. Maybe we're going to create new areas, whole new areas, like, for example, community team that will focus on the community side. That's a really good improvement to have people focusing on these areas and having developer relations, community advocates, those kind of people. We're going to have other kind of teams as well. So all this restructurization will lead us to open many positions. So we literally will have tens of new positions for the product area, and mainly on the engineering area for the next months for this year, probably. So yeah, that's a good point for everyone. Stay tuned on our positions page. And kind of related to that, we are starting a process with Google Summer of Code this year. We still don't know if we're going to be selected on Google Summer of Code, but we are at getting students that want to interact with us to start proposing projects. So if you're interested about that, you should access docs.rocket.chat, and there you can find section for Google Summer of Code 2021 and have all the information how to apply, how to join our community on Open and start exchanging information or start working some features and contributing to the project. And of course, knowing the list of the projects we are proposing as mentors for the students to participate. I think it's a really good opportunity. If you don't know if you're a student and don't know what Google Summer Code is, I really suggest you to check it out and maybe work with us during this summer, at least the summer on the North Hemisphere. And yeah, I think that's all from my side. I want to thank you all the people that participated in this episode. And yeah, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Mas,
You have listened to Engineering Podcast. This episode is available as video on YouTube and audio on your favorite podcast application. For more information, contact community at Rocket.Chat and give us your feedback.